Okay, we're back.
What's up, David? We're back, man. We're back. We got cut off.
Yeah, we got cut off.
All right.
That's all good.
Come on, come on, come on, come on now, touch me, babe. Can't you see that I am not afraid? What was that promise that you made? Why won't you tell me what she said? What was that promise that you made? Now I'm gonna love you till the heavens stops the rain. I'm gonna love you till the stars fall from the sky for you and I. Hey! There you go.
Hey, look, the thing is that your voice sort of it reminds me of a certain era, right? It's a certain era of singer or certain kind of style that it is super clear to me, and I don't know for other people, but you know, because this is kind of what I do, right? I think part of what I do is I can discern artistically, if that means anything. Right, so I can kind of know what category or how to build around something. So literally when you're singing, there is a not just a visual, but a like a theme or even a vibe, right, that I'm like, oh, he can do, and I can already say, all right, he can do this one, this one, this one. This is like in my mind.
Yeah. Well, let's you know, while we're on the subject, we'll I'll do a little snippet of a tune from one of my favorite Bobby Darin tunes. More than the greatest love the world has known. This is the love that I give to you alone. More than the simple words I try to say. I only live to love you more each day. More than you'll ever know. My arms long to hold you so. My life will be in your keeping. Awaking, sleeping, laughing, weeping. Longer than always is a long, long time. But far beyond forever you be mine. I know I never loved before, but my heart is very sure no one else could love you more. Love you more. There you go. It's a little Bobby Darin.
All right. Look, I have a question. So where you mentioned also that you have a niece that's entering into the arts and stuff. So how far back? And first of all, there are a couple of questions. Like, where does your family come from, at least before coming to America? Do you know like what the history is before that? I mean, what is?
Yeah. So basically, on my mom's side, I know quite a bit. On my mom's maternal side, so. My mom's, my grandmother, my great grandmother came to the States in the early, the turn of the century. Genoa, Italy.
Okay.
So through Ellis Island. So that was my mom's maternal side. My dad's, my dad's side of the family had been here forever and fought in the Civil War for the North. So they've been here a long, long time. So, but my mom's side, my mom's maternal side, and that was my dad's grandfather on my dad's side.
Right.
Yeah, so that's just a little bit of family history for you.
Well, I think it's interesting because similarly, in my family, we have a lineage that is artistic as well.
Cool.
So on my mother's side, almost all of my cousins have some artistic ability.
Right.
I have two cousins that are in LA. One's a photographer for Red Carpet and worked with Carlos Mencia, I think, for a while.
Okay.
And the other one works in animation, right?
Cool.
Doing actual, right? And then, but on my father's side, there's a jazz musician, Gary Bartz, who played with Miles Davis and some other some biggies. But the irony there is that he worked overseas primarily and would come home occasionally. And when he would come home, we would go over to my grandmother's house and he would be there. So his grandma, my grandmother, and his father were brother sisters.
Okay.
Right. So when I moved to Europe, there were twice I ran into him. And this is what, more so knowing that I was a dancer, or when I knew that was going to happen.
Sure.
When I ran into my father's first cousin, or my second cousin, that's when I knew that I was on the right track. And the first time was a friend of mine who worked for the mayor's office in New York City called and said, hey, you know, I have tickets to the New York Jazz Festival. Do you want to come?
Cool.
And I said, yeah, sure. And then as I got there, I looked around and saw the people, and I realized, I said, this looks like Gary's, these are his people, right? And about 20 minutes later, and I said this to my friend, 20 minutes later, he walked right in front of me, right? And then I was like, Gary, right? So that was the first time. Second time, I'm in Switzerland, and we were at a jazz festival in, I can't remember what it's called, in toward the south, closer to Italy. We're going down one street, and it was closed off, and they said, no, you have to go down. We closed that off. You have to go down the other street. So we go and turn around, go down the other street. They had large pictures of jazz musicians hanging from side to side in the town, and we literally ran into my cousin's picture hanging like a huge. Right. So that was the moment when I was like, Dave, you're on the right track. Like you're not where you thought you would be. Right. Because I thought I was going to be in New York, working in media and stuff. But it's all worked out.
And this was in Europe.
This was in Switzerland.
In Switzerland.
I'm walking down the street in Switzerland, and there's my cousin, right, hanging like from one side of a house, you know, because it was a big banner. You know, from the other side.
There are those signs, you know, that's so cool.
Right.
I knew when you saw that.
I knew. I was like, Dave, you're doing the right thing. And maybe the second thing that made me realize was that when my niece started to become
your niece,
you know,
that's incredible, man. I've followed, you know, I've followed your posts of your niece and all the incredible things she's doing with dance, and that's, hey man, it's in the blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood, right?
It's in the DNA. It's passed down, and you know, you I'm sure were a big influence on her, and now she's and is she in college now, or she's
no, she's like, I think she's 14 years old now. So 14, she's 14 now. So her path will be a bit different now because of I wouldn't say mistakes, but things that I did not do, right? And wasn't clear on. We're very clear now, right, with regard to her. So I can offer advice when asked, sometimes when not asked. But there are times where I've literally put her in touch with people. I was like, you need to go to that person for this particular type of dance.
Sure.
And that's only because somebody told me, but it didn't really happen where this all was coming directly to me for my benefit. Right. So there's a little bit of, I don't know, how do you call it? I don't necessarily believe that I had a mentor, but I am a mentor to a lot of people. Right. So now I can use the ability that I have to kind of move things in a certain way. And you know, with my nieces, but it was really clear when my family members started showing up in a big way. Right. So I bring it up similar to you, and I ask you, oh, my grandfather sang, or my father was an actor, or whatever you were describing. I say, hey, well, then this is super clear, you know, that this is, you know, this is not a mistake. This is clearly not a mistake. This is not an error.
You get some of those signs, man. It's so cool to hear about your family and your uncle. I mean, you get these moments like that where you feel like, all right, this is a sign, you know.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Is there anything else? What did we cover? We covered almost everything now. Like, where can people, they can find your albums? How many different albums do you have now? Like one, two, like three,
Two.
right?
Just
Two.
two.
So there's
Two
one you
albums.
did in 2001-ish, and then the
Yeah.
one currently.
This is yeah, the one. Give me 1 second. Stay there. Just give me
Yes,
1
I'm fine. I'm here.
I promise you, I'm not going far.
Right.
Promise you, my friend.
Well, what's also interesting is, what else do I have here?
Go ahead, man. What were you gonna say?
We can talk about the COVID
Yeah.
toward the end, like the effect of COVID, but
Sure.
you have a copy of the,
I certainly do, my friend.
well, you have it in your hand, or what's going on?
So this is the new
Oh, okay,
CD.
there it is. There we go. There we go.
CD. This is
Uh-huh.
the record Sway, and it's available. It's a collection of bunch of Sinatra tunes, Bobby Darin tunes, actually the title track is Sway, which is the famous Dean Martin song.
Mm-hmm.
So there's it's mainly covers. There's some Chicago in there. There's some Doors, Touch Me, but also an original song, my first original song that I wrote. I don't know. I think I told you this earlier, but right before I recorded the record, I blew my knee out playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing hoops like 2 weeks before we started recording the record, and I had a bad fall and I hurt myself bad. So I wrote a song called ACL Blues. So I tore my ACL and I had to have surgery. So there's original song in there called ACL Blues. So you guys can check it out. It's available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Deezer, iHeartRadio. You can check it out.
So if we put in your name in Spotify, because I'm still not up to, I'm not up to date with the music streaming, right? So we put your name in Spotify, it will pop up.
Correct. You put my name in, Patrick Barnitt. You'll see my mug on the cover of the album.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun, and it's been an exciting time. We're getting some. It's been played all over the country on jazz stations, so it's been a really exciting kind of.
And from what I understand, it was fairly. It was welcomed. Not, I don't know if it's pretty quickly, but it seemed as I was following on social media, you were getting picked up quite frequently.
Yeah, no thanks. We started getting, we had a promoter, and it started to play on the radio around the country in different markets and cities, probably in the summer of last year, so a year ago. And then they started playing us on K-Jazz, which is my home, our LA home radio station, jazz station, KKJZ. And they're playing it on K-Jazz, which is surreal and exciting, and very grateful to them and to all the programmers all over the country for playing it. So good fun and exciting.
And I'll ask you about the COVID, and then we'll close. In terms of how you're faring with regard to the, can we say it's the lockdown or the quarantine, and what's going on in LA, and how are people feeling? Where are they at this point in time as we are in mid-July?
Yeah. No, it's been such a long, trying time for everybody. I mean, all over the world, but here in LA, I mean, most of my friends I have a lot of different types of friends, but a lot of my friends are musicians and artists and actors. So it's been tough. No gigs, and a lot of people are out of work and kind of wondering when we'll all be safely able to kind of go out and actually be able to safely perform. There are some places that are opening up that have like maybe a back patio. And they're allowing musicians and people to kind of socially distance, but it's been tough, man. Things have opened up out here. They opened up the restaurants. in sort of early June. Now they've closed them again, so now they're only open for al fresco dining. But it's it's a tough time for people all over the world, and we're just trying to stay positive. And I believe that some film production is back up. There's all sorts of new protocols that they've implemented to safely kind of shoot things with different zones of productions and things like that. But I think this time is as difficult and as unprecedented and as difficult and trying and painful as it's been for people all over the world. I think in some ways has really helped to spark creativity in kind of new and unique ways, because more and more artists, and then, by the way, I want to thank you for having me today. Thanks for connecting with me. Thanks for reaching out years ago. You're a great friend and a great artist, and it's inspiring what you do, and especially this now, because this is fun. This is fun. It's fun. It's fun, and it's great to connect, and I think that's what this is all. This time right now is all about connecting with people, connecting with friends and fellow artists, and so I appreciate you having me on and starting this, because I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool what you're doing, interviewing different folks and different artists and friends, and so much of the world. I mean, when I think about, fellow artists and musicians and friends that in this business, I mean, more and more people are doing home concerts, Instagram concerts, Facebook concerts, dance performances online, things like that. So it's sparked a lot of creativity, and things are different now, for a while. So it's, I mean, we're not sure when we're going to be back gigging. It's anyone's guess. It could be, there was some talk that, before they closed things down, there was some talk July, we're in July, we're mid-July, but there was some talk by the end of July, but now restaurants are closed again. So we don't know, but until then, it's a chance for all of us to kind of do cool things like what you're doing, and kind of open up the channels and kind of do things in kind of new ways, so.
Well, thank you very much for, agreeing to be
of course,
interviewed. I mean, I appreciate it a lot. And
we're kindred spirits, and we got a history, even though I haven't seen in 35 years. Maybe more, man. It could be like, I'm trying to think, how old are you in middle school? You're like, what, 13?
Something like that. I just remember seeing you with a crew of people, but it was always in passing, right? So it was like,
listen.
It was like you're going one direction, I was going the other direction. It was like, hey.
It was just a lot of motion back then, motion in the hallways. But no, man, listen, I thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate that you agreed. Not everybody is, can see what the big picture is, and you could see it. So thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Listen, and are you? I know that you Frankie Ann, Franny Sama.
Yeah, of course. You're right. Frank Sama, and
you got it because you have this. You're the same mentor, dance mentor, correct?
Right. Janet Hicks was her mentor, my mentor in a different way. I mean, by the time I started in the program that was in the high school called Special Dance, Fran had already graduated, so she was coming back as a working professional, right? So she was, and she actually pursued it, right? I'm coming to it very, very in another way. So I went and did sort of, college and this and that, and then eventually connected with Janet Hicks when I had an opportunity to dance with a small company in New York. But this was not when I was in my, I think I was in my late 30s then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it was a whole other thing.
Remarkable. I mean, I didn't know her, but she sounded really like a remarkable woman, an artist. And, Fran Fran and I go way back. I mean, like, it's amazing. We have so many mutual friends and mutual experiences, even though we really didn't know each other that well back then. We knew each other, but we have such a shared experience. And Fran is a great friend of the family, and you know, she grew up right up the block from me in Richmond Avenue. So
yeah,
so
well,
I,
she was in touch with me like a couple of weeks ago.
yeah, right. So I think I saw that. So she been on the show, or are you gonna have her on the show?
No, I think I'm gonna have her on the show. She emailed something for me, and it was regarding.
Yeah, no. Listen, she's amazing, and you know, we're in touch. I spoke with her about 2 months ago, and she's wonderful and an amazing talent artist. And actually, about 7-8 years ago, she came down to the club and sang a few tunes. It's fun.
Yeah. Look,
I'm hoping that in the next, maybe whenever we get back to work and get back to gigging, that we can do something, or we can, you know, do something fun together. So
yeah. Collaborate and spend creative time. Those. I'll leave it with that, but I will say that part of what Special Dance, what made it so good, was that there was a lot of collaboration and experimentation, right? So that is what made the particular program in high school so special, because there was so much talent, and we were able to somehow reconfigure and create a variety of different things within a very short period of time. And I used that model when I came here to Europe, when we had 10 days to put on a show, right? I would hire people and bring them here, so mostly from Switzerland, Italy, like 1 or 2 from the US, and we'd have 10 days to put it together. And in Special Dance, or in the program in high school, we had much longer period of time, but it was a full force collaboration, the end product. So I learned how to do that in high school. I learned how to really, and those were the skills that I brought to, once I did that summer at MTV, then by the time I started to do TV news, I had it down, even though people were like, this guy knows nothing, right? Because I didn't have any credits. I didn't have any experience, but I knew from dance, that's how I was producing news.
Well, it's amazing, man. It's all experience, and you can bring that to bear. You know, you utilize that with your dance endeavors. So that's super cool, man.
Okay. Next time I won't kick, but next time I'll do something. I mean, right now I'm learning flamenco, and we'll get into that. I can tell you.
No, I love it, man. Flamenco's, listen, I love Latin. I love singing. I mean, I love bossa nova and Latin music, and it's probably, bossa nova might be maybe some of my favorite stuff to sing. Like, you do a tune as a bossa, so I love all that flamenco, and it's exciting stuff, man. So I can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to it. Next time.
And the Gypsy King, you know how the Gypsy Kings sing, right? I don't know what style or what that is called, but it's in the flamenco style, right? Where there's sort of an Arabic call, and it's a specific name for it. Yeah. So that it's what's interesting. I was teasing my sister, and I said, Janine, I think I can sing like that. I can't sing anything else, but I think I can sing. So it's almost like a yell, right? It's almost like a you know, which I think that I can do that, right? So that's the last thing. Now, if I can do that, I'm working on that. Then I'll share it. But right now, I don't want to embarrass myself.
No, man. Listen, I totally get it. I mean, you know, I totally get it. You know, sometimes
I'm like, I think I can do it.
Sometimes you got to sing for your supper.
Yeah, it's like, if I do that and people like boo me or something, as my friend
hey,
said,
man,
like the Gong Show.
Know what? It's like you said, like the Gong Show. Is that what you're saying? I remember that.
They dragged me off. I mean, but at least in that realm, like, you are allowed to.
The Gong Show is so classic. Yeah, it's so classic.
You can, at least in the flamenco tradition, you can yell sort of this. It's almost like what Indians do.
Yeah, it's almost a primal. It's like a primal.
Yeah. So you can do a little bit more than if you had to, you know, stick to scale. Anyway, Patrick,
I love it.
Thank you so much. I'll let you go.
Listen, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me. Great talking to you today. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care
Thanks,
of yourself.
man. Appreciate
See
you.
ya.
Take care. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.